Welcome to Gospel Lessons. I'm Kevin Prince. Today we're continuing our series on false traditions, beliefs often passed down in the church but not rooted in Scripture or the Gospel. These traditions, while sometimes harmless, can prevent a deeper understanding of doctrine. Today we will be discussing if the earth is really only 6,000 years old. Joining me is Bruce Porter, a renowned scholar with degrees in ancient Near Eastern and Middle East studies, specializing in Semitic languages and religious history. Bruce has authored over 16 books and is well known for his research on the Pearl of Great Price. I first met him on a life-changing tour in 2018, which inspired this Gospel Lessons YouTube channel. Now, if you've never traveled with Bruce, I highly recommend it. He frequently speaks and guides on LDS-based cruises with Go and Do Travel. These cruises offer opportunities to connect with like-minded members and learn from speakers like Bruce. I'll be joining the Momentum 2026 cruise with him, and if you're interested, use promo code PRINCE for $100 off. All proceeds from Gospel Lessons, including sponsorships, go to charity. Those that believe that the earth is only 6,000 years old, or more specifically that it took 6,000 of our years to create the earth, state that they want to believe the scriptures literally. And when it says that one day to God is 1,000 years to man, and it took 6 days to create the earth, that means the earth is 6,000 years old. One of these alternate voices that, and I say voices plural because this is the whole point of this, is that the nature of the internet, the nature of social media allows us to gather in micro groups or specialized groups around people who believe the same thing. Whether it's right, wrong, and different, it allows you to find your people. Right? Like that's what social media allows you to do, is find your people. The problem with finding your people is if everybody believes the same thing and it's wrong, you reinforce a belief within your own community that can be very damaging. So there are people in the church that have this literal belief around the earth is exactly 6,000 years old. And so then they map the timing because they believe that Christ will come at the precisely the right time on the right year and all this kind of stuff, right? And you can find enough people that can be convinced or believe that you start reinforcing. And it's like nothing draws a crowd like a crowd, like, right? So you get enough people together believing the same thing, and now you feel even more emboldened in that belief because other people believe it, and that's can be really, really scary.
Yeah, it's like the flat Earth theory. You know, you get enough flat Earthers together, and you end up believing that that there's more than the Earth is flat, that everything's flat. You know, so. And that's exactly right. And a lot of these people on this 6,000 year Earth, which means the Earth is about 12,000 years old totally, you know, from beginning to end, from the coming together of the elements, is based in what we look at in the creation in Moses. And I think one of the real issues we don't understand is what creation accounts are for. You know, every single culture has a creation account. Every ancient culture has a creation account, every one of them. And we have 4 of them in the church. We have Genesis and Moses, but Moses is the inspired version of Genesis. And then we have Abraham and we have the temple. And we have more creation accounts than any other religion or any other culture. We have different creation accounts. And then you have to ask yourself, why are creation accounts so important? And this is where that 6,000 year motif, this young earth theory is going, is they're trying to rationalize, they're trying to justify what the scriptures are saying with science and time. But creation accounts aren't to establish when or how long or what orders. Creation accounts are to establish a relationship between God and mankind, and the environment in which man must work out his own salvation. That's all it's for, is to establish relationships. And if you actually look at the creation accounts, you have these trailers that are going on there. And so many of the young earth people they're ready to fight to substantiate their young earth. I mean, I've had emails from young earthers. I've had emails telling me that I'm apostate and that I'm wrong and I don't know the scriptures and I don't understand the scriptures when they're trying to look at time periods and orders rather than purposes. Why does every ancient culture have a creation epic?
Every book of Scripture that we have begins with a creation epic. The Bible begins with Genesis. Moses has the inspired version of the same creation story. Abraham has a creation story from a pre-earth life perspective. As you said, the temple has a creation story, but in there it is in the first person. The brass plates included the books of Moses, which would have had a creation epic, and the jadeite plates began with a creation story. And some might say, Kevin, the book of Ether doesn't begin with a creation account. But if you look closely at how Moroni abridged the book of Ether, he says, quote, "And as I suppose that the first part of this record, which speaks concerning the creation of the world, and also of Adam, and an account from that time even to the great tower, and whatsoever things transpired among the children of men until that time, it had among the Jews. Therefore I do not write those things which transpired from the days of Adam until that time, but they are had upon the plates." So there was a creation account on those 24 jadeite plates. I even suspect that the book of Lehi began with a creation account that was lost in the 116 pages. But every book of Scripture begins with a creation account. Why? It isn't so God can say, "Look how hard I worked on this place for you." It is a divine teaching pattern that when you understand the creation, it creates a sense of eternal perspective. So you can begin to understand where you came from, why you're here, where you're going. It teaches why there's evil in the world and temptation and how to overcome it. It teaches the love of God and His plan so you can reach your full potential through His only begotten Son. Bruce, you're right. It is supposed to teach us relationships and the why rather than what and when. And if all we're getting out of that is orders and dates and lengths of time, we've missed the whole point.
Exactly.
The point is to understand we are a child of God and He cares about and made everything so we have the opportunity to express our agency, work to become like Him through our choice and make it back. That's what we're supposed to learn. And He teaches it first and foremost every opportunity He can.
Yeah, exactly. Truth is the knowledge of things as they were, as they are, and as they are to come. And the three creation accounts we have are from different perspectives. Things as they were with the Moses account or Genesis. Things as they are is with the temple, and things as they are to come is Abraham. Their perspective is different, and their audiences are different. In the Book of Mormon, we don't often realize it, but the Book of Mormon teaches more about the purpose of creation accounts than any other book we have. And that's King Benjamin's address. He talks more about creation in King Benjamin's address than we have anywhere else, which gets into the purpose of creation, which is really dealing with relationships between us and our Creator and the environment in which we live.
It's about the why. Let's focus on why He did this, not what He did or the order He did it, but why He did it. That's the most important thing. Thanks for joining us today and learning about false traditions. Remember to subscribe so future episodes are easier to find. Thanks for watching.